Welcome to Folktales with Shafi. Gather round and listen closely, because tonight's story comes from the quiet village of Abrewa in Ghana. Here, in a small mud house near the river, lived three brothers, Kojo, Yaw, and Kweku. But they weren't just any brothers. Everyone in the village feared them. They were known as the Three Wicked Brothers. Kojo's stomach was so huge, it looked like he'd swallowed a drum. Yaw's head was far too big for his neck, and Kweku was so skinny, people joked that a strong gust of wind could simply blow him away. These brothers never worked. Instead, they took what belonged to others. They stole from farms, terrified children for their snacks, and snatched food right from the hands of the old women at the market. The villagers despised them, but no one dared to speak up. Why? Because the brothers were not only strong, they were cruel. If anyone complained, Kojo would waddle over with his big stomach and crush their entire yam field. Fear was a thick blanket over the village. Facing the brothers was a terrifying thought. You see, it wasn't just their wickedness. People whispered that they had strange, dark powers. Some said they performed sacrifices deep in the forest at night. Others believed they were cursed by the gods themselves for their endless greed. Later that night, as the moon cast its silvery glow, an old hunter named Abrewa was returning home through the forest. He saw a strange light coming from behind the brothers' house. Hiding behind a large tree, he watched in disbelief. The three brothers were dancing around a small pot of fire, chanting words he couldn't understand. He ran, terrified, all the way to the chief's house. "Chief, chief," he panted. "I saw them. The three brothers are using evil spirits." The next morning, the chief gathered the elders under the great baobab tree. "We must call Nana Efua," he announced, "the old woman of the forest. She knows the ways of spirits." A messenger was sent at once. Nana Efua was ancient, with hair as white as cotton and eyes as sharp as an eagle's. She listened intently as Abrewa recounted the terrifying scene. She nodded slowly, her expression grim. "Those boys have opened a gate they do not understand," she said. "The spirits they've called will soon destroy them and this village along with them. What can we do to stop it?" The chief asked desperately. Nana Efua stared at the ground. "The only way," she said softly, "is to break their bond with the spirit before the next full moon. But it will not be easy. The spirit of the Black River is hungry. It feeds on fear." That night, the brothers felt an incredible surge of power. Kojo could lift massive stones with one hand. Yaw could see perfectly in the pitch-black darkness, and Kweku could move with the speed of a striking snake. They laughed, planning their most audacious act yet, to steal the chief's gold. But as they prepared, a searing pain shot through Kojo's stomach. He screamed. At the same moment, Yaw's head began to pound violently, and Kweku felt his body grow weak and frail. They didn't understand. The spirit wasn't just giving them power, it was feeding on them. It wanted their souls. In agony and confusion, they ran into the forest, crying for help. The wind howled, and the trees whispered their names. Suddenly, Nana Efua appeared before them, holding a calabash with smoke swirling from it. "You have played with dark powers," she said, her voice steady. "Now the spirits will take what they gave." Kojo collapsed to his knees. "Please, help us," he begged. Nana Efua shook her head. "You must confess what you have done and beg for forgiveness from the gods and the village." The villagers were jolted awake by screams echoing from the forest, but no one dared to go near. Only Nana Efua stood at the edge of the trees, whispering ancient words into the wind, which carried Kojo's final, desperate cries across the land. The next morning, The forest was eerily silent. The brothers' house stood empty. The villagers breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they were gone forever. But when the sun went down, a new sound began to haunt the night. Heavy footsteps near the river, and the sound of deep, evil laughter. Nana Efua knew in her heart that the story was not over. The three wicked brothers were still out there, but they were no longer just men. To be continued. Thank you for joining us on Folktales with Shafi. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. See you in the next episode.